Mason, Margielas, unreleased color palettes, make them all jealous. You could buy the drip, but the swag's so separate. Ponytail poppy, now I sport the fade. Woke up one morning, said it's time for a change. I am one of one, my name is my name. Cartier, cedar core, vintage wood frames. Everything clear when you living in the air. In the pilot on call, press a button and you there. Or your car got a roof, press a button, disappear. On the coupe, like poof, everything I do is rare, but I swear, if you could walk a mile in my shoes, you would stop it. If you could pull the bitches that I pull, you be solid. Manifesting everything I am, I'm a prophet. And when it comes to that bottom line, I want profit. I say get down when I say you get down. I say get down when I say you get down. I say get down when I say. Yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time to be alive. What's good? Listen, Icons and Ideas presents The World According to K. Nellz. I am yours truly, K. Nellz. This is episode 11. Thank you for rocking with me as always. It's been a little bit of I guess we could call it a hiatus. Took a little bit of time off. Still want to create content consistently. I know and I understand consistency is key, but balance is always good. So I had to do a little bit of living. But nonetheless, I'm here, baby. Back like I left my keys. Bringing you another great episode, great talking points. So much has gone on since episode 10. Obviously, I'm not going to cover everything in one episode, but I'm going to keep it fresh. I'm going to keep the perspective current and just talk about some things that's going on right now. As always, y'all know this is not a new phenomenon for those people that tune into the show and watch consistently. You know me, I'm someone that always like to give my flowers. So I'm gonna kick episode 11 off by giving flowers. It's very important that we acknowledge people while they can be acknowledged, while they're alive to be acknowledged, while they can smell the flowers is very important. And so that's why these conversations are necessary. We had one of the elders pass away, Nikki Giovanni. Rest in peace to her. One of the foremost poets of her generation. As somebody like myself whose foundation is in poetry, started out writing poetry, reciting poetry at an extremely young age. And poetry has opened up so many doors for me to do things that I do creatively and meet so many amazing people. So definitely want to give a salute and a rest in peace to our elder, now our ancestor, Nikki Giovanni. So that's very important. Obviously, start there. Then to segue from that, I want to give a flower. I want to give some flowers to OG Mako. That beer and tacos era in Atlanta, in East Atlanta, is an era that you really had to be there. Like, it was so many amazing people, so much amazing talent and energy in that time, man. Whether you're talking about 2-9 or Trinidad James or OG Mako, or it was so many people. Even the earlier JID projects and stuff like that. That time can't be duplicated. It can only be revered. So I want to definitely give my flowers to OG Mako. Hopefully he pulls through the trials and tribulations that he's going through now. But I still want to acknowledge him. Still want to send good energy, positive vibes to him, his friends, his circle of influence, and his family. And I also want to give flowers and a huge shout out to Randy Moss, aka Rain University. Want to give him his flowers. Obviously, supreme talent, supreme athlete. Blazed the trail in the wide receiver position. Gave it that flash, that flair that we see today. And don't get me wrong, salute to Jerry Rice and all our OGs, the Tim Browns and the Chris Carters, and there's so many wide receivers that came before that kind of paved the way. But Moss is the first person to turn his name into a verb, into an adverb. Like, you know what I mean? And it transcends sports. You got Moss highlights now on the basketball court. Somebody throw a full-length pass, they catch it. They referencing Moss even in basketball. But his impact on the wide receiver position, his impact on football is one that is definitely leaves an indelible mark. So I want to give a salute. Definitely want to give flowers to Randy Moss. Keep doing your thing. Keep thriving. Keep growing. Keep striving, for sure. So, as always, I just wanted to kick it off there. Salute to OG Macko. Salute to Randy Moss. I want to make sure that you get your flowers. Those flowers be extended. And for OG Macko and his family, you know, my positive energy prayers is definitely with you. And I hope things aren't the worst. And so we're going to kick it off right there. Yeah, again, this is The World According to K. Nellz. I am yours truly, K. Nellz. I have to extend my gratitude. Thank you for rocking with me, as always. Let's get into it. Let's have a little fun. I'm going to start off with a little recap. As I said before, I'm kind of bouncing back from what I'm calling a hiatus, but it wasn't an intention. It was like one of those hiatuses that happened by mistake, took a couple of weeks away from recording content for the pod. I think the main interruption was likely work, my professional priorities outside of what I do creatively. I do a lot of traveling for work, so I had a lot of time and obligations that I had to take care of for work. So always balancing that, always maintaining my priorities. So that's super important to me. Outside of that, the next thing was health. I've been very diligent with my health. I hope y'all notice, you know, a few changes, face slimming up a little bit. I just been dedicated to working and focusing on understanding that we only get one life, we only get one body, and it's very important that we take care of ourselves. You know, it's easy to talk about wanting and aspiring for, you know, success and wealth and all of those cliche things. And there is not a greater priority than our overall health and well-being. And so, you know, I'm working out consistently. I'm being more mindful of my nutrition. That's my biggest opportunity for growth. I have to get more disciplined and in my nutrition, but nonetheless, still committed to maintaining a relatively healthy lifestyle, working out 6, sometimes 7 days a week. And I know I get it. Everybody always be like, you got to make sure rest and recovery is important. I am aware and I do understand the gravity of rest and recovery. But as I say to myself, I have to earn the right to rest. Good habits didn't get me to where I am in terms of my physical health. And I feel good, thankfully enough, you know, by the grace of God, no extreme adverse health effects that I had to deal with in my life up until now. But I can't lie to myself and look in the mirror every day and not say, hey, my brother, you gotta do something about your weight. You gotta do something about your appearance, and you have to be more responsible to yourself. And so that's what it has been for me. So I'm definitely on the grind. You could catch me at the gym any day of the week. You know, I be at LA Fitness. Anybody, the homies come through, pull up on me from time to time. I'm always interested in workout partners. I'm always interested in people that's willing to come out there and get that work in with me. Because it truly is a lifestyle. And I do understand that bad habits got me to where I am, so it's going to take good habits. I'm going to have to reverse all of those bad habits and create the good habits. And thankfully enough, I've been able to do that. The last year of my life has, on a health tip, has been very, very transformational. Just so diligent about working out, and even with the results, I'm being smart and not getting too enamored with the results that I've even seen thus far. The weight that I've lost, the muscle that I've put on, the build. You know, you start looking in the mirror and you seeing cuts and things that you ain't, that wasn't there, you know what I mean? So I'm just dedicated to the grind, falling in love with the process. So, but outside of that, I did, you know, my baby germs is undefeated. Let me preface it like that. On God and all of his disciples, baby germs is undefeated. I tell people all the time, you don't have to create a nuclear weapon. You could just bottle up a bunch of baby germs into a missile and drop that on a motherfucker. I promise you, he gonna surrender. Whatever the threat is, it's gonna be neutralized. And so my son, not to go too in depth, he's been dealing with some challenges, and naturally, when your child is sick, chances are you're going to get sick too. So I started just dealing with some of the same symptoms that he was dealing with. Thankfully enough, he's on the other side of it. My man really a trooper. That kid is just so special, man, so strong. And I'm obviously not going to go into a long soliloquy about my son, but you know, just that played into the hiatus as well. I'm not going to call it a hiatus. I'm going to call it time off. That interim, that time between the last time I filmed and now. So my physical health, super important. Work, super important. My son, super important. And I just had to get some things in order. And I did not make time. I always say it's not we all have the same amount of time. And recently I just didn't make the time to consistently, you know, record new episodes. Even though sometimes I wanted to, I just had, you know, as my man, I want to say it was D. Ray Davis. Sometimes the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And that's what I was doing. So, you know, we back now. We back in full effect. And you're going to get the content how you get the content. You know how I do. Let me take the glasses off so, you know, you can see, you can look at my face, you feel me? So let's talk about chigga, that nigga chigga. Let's kick it off with a little hip hop talk. Let's kick it off with a little, you know, it's a lot of controversy. We all know I covered and talked about what's transpiring, what's going on with Diddy. And it's going to be residue of that. It's going to be continued fallout from that because it's a big deal. So recently, Jay-Z had someone bring a lawsuit, a civil suit, suing him for an alleged sexual assault that took place when this particular accuser was 13 years old. And Jay-Z and his team responded to it swiftly and, you know, posted a statement on social media. Being very assertive, very forceful, very direct, very matter of fact in their tone, didn't mince words, was very, very particular about the message that they wanted to deliver, and they delivered that. Now, me being who I am, I took some time to try to do a little bit more reading. I'm not going to call it research, just doing some reading and looking into the lawyer that's bringing the civil suit against him, because that's one thing that Jay-Z highlighted in his response statement that he posted on social media. And this lawyer seems to be or seems to have earned the reputation of an ambulance chaser, specifically for entertainers, specifically for Black entertainers. Although he's equal opportunity in his willingness to bring frivolous lawsuits, there is a bit of a hypersensitivity or hyperattention towards some of the Black athletes and entertainers to really extort them on behalf of clients that has been transgressed in some capacity or not. In this case, the more and more things unravel, the more and more time, and it's only been a couple of days, it just looks like there is no validity to anything that these allegations is claiming towards Jay-Z. Now, I don't have a dog in the race. I'm a Jay fan. I appreciate the music. I appreciate Jay as an artist. But I'll be the first person to tell you I have no problem distinguishing art from artists. None whatsoever. I have no problem distinguishing message from messenger. So a lot of people feel like they have to draw hard lines in the sand. And that's your prerogative if that's what you choose to do. For me, I have no problem appreciating great art and great music from great artists who create great music. For those artists that have walked down that path, has transgressed, has are morally bankrupt in their personal endeavors, they have to live with the karma and consequences of the decisions that they make. I'm neither judge, jury, nor executioner. But I understand why people take the road that they take as it pertains to these celebrities that we have a tendency to romanticize and idolize. And then when things happen, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. At the end of the day, we are people, and this is a shared human experience. So I'm not surprised, really, when I hear things, although some things can be surprising, but I try to treat everything at face value, deal with what it is. Now, for some people, I feel like the conversation has to be had as it pertains to Jay-Z. It is amazing to see how many people, and specifically Black people, as y'all know, I appreciate everybody that listen and tune in, but a lot of times my narratives, my talking points, and my message be specifically for Black people in our community because that's where I exist. That's my worldview. And this is the world according to Nellz. So I have to be true to that. It's disheartening to see the amount of, take the names off of it. It's disheartening to see the amount of Black people that is interested in the villainization and downfall of other Black people. The amount of people that express jubilation behind Jay-Z being alleged to have been accused by what is now becoming meritless and baseless accusations, people were extremely happy. And like I said, take the names off of it. For that, for us as Black people in the community, like we way too enthusiastic about the downfall of another Black person. And I know there is always different perspectives. Some people be like, man, I don't give a fuck about that. Black, white, blue, right is right, wrong is wrong. I get it. But we have to be honest about this propensity, for lack of a better expression, for us within our community, within the Black community, to run to tear down other people within the Black community. And like, it's lines that can be distinguished, joking and stuff like that. Like comedians, sometimes, they dabble in spaces and critics and things like that. They have their perspectives. But no, I'm talking about like all out campaigns to discriminate and tear down. And that's what they say. I mean, they build you up to tear you down. That's why I always stress, no matter what, and the rule that I follow in my life, I remain even killed is just so important because if their cheers and applause could build you, their boos could break you. I don't give anybody that much power. I appreciate everybody that enjoy my music, that enjoy my content, that enjoy my poetry, that enjoy everything that I do. And I sincerely appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. But the reality is that will never be the defining thing for me. Those things do not define me. That is only what I do. That is not who I am. And if I give people the power to dictate to me through what I do, who I am, then they will surely tear me down. And we know this society as a whole, including Black people, is more insidious than it has ever been. So knowing that, I'm never going to give somebody the luxury or the power to build me, because then I also give them the power to destroy me. And no man is capable of doing that. Only myself, only the people that I give the power to. So I always tell people, don't let the boos, don't let the highs or the praise get you too high. Don't ever let the boos get you too low. Just remain even keel, root yourself and ground yourself in something real, not the superficial. And so I definitely wanted to speak on that because, again, people are entitled to feel how they feel. But it was alarming the amount of people that was like, I can't wait till Jay-Z go down. And I'm like, damn, did he? I mean, did I miss something? like he did something I don't know about besides be a successful hip hop artist, come from the projects that we all come from, beat all of the odds. Again, I'll be the first people to tell you, my people that know me know Nas is my favorite artist. I'm a Nas fan first. So when it comes to, you know what I mean, you feel me? But I say that to say, even still, like I could always still appreciate Jay-Z for his art and what he represent. Again, I'm not judge, jury, or executioner, but more details continue to come out about these allegations. The girl, her own father was like, I can't corroborate the details that she's talking about. And she said her father was the one that picked her up from the sexual assault after it was all said and done, when she, you know what I mean? All that, like, it's like the more and more you hear about what's going on, the more and more you just like, man, you got to pray for people. I ain't even going to say that. For real. People is just crazy. And guess what? That's their karma. They got to put that karma out there. All of us are responsible for the karma that we put out into the universe. And karma has everybody addressed in a very long memory. It is what it is. So, you know, it's an unfortunate situation all the way around. Jay-Z had to spend money, resources. I know he got the lawyer on retainer, but still, it's still money, time, resources, public relations, all of that. It's just, it's unnecessary if the allegations are baseless, as they seem to be. And then for the person that's levying the allegations, it's even more sad for them because they're in some sort of delusional state of existence where they feel like this is what they have to do in order to, I don't know what the motive is, but it seems foolish. And then that's even, you know, given validity by the lawyer that decide to take that case and group it in with whatever he got going on with Diddy chasing ambulances to try to get money and settlements. It's ridiculous. But as always, you got to keep your head on the swivel. That's why you keep your circle small. That's why you control your circle of influence. And that's why you stay away from the bullshit. You dig? Thank you for continually rocking with me. This is The World According to K. Nellz. I am yours truly, K. Nellz. Let's talk about Remy Ma and Papoose. Man, the world of hip hop has been in shambles, man. It's been so much going on in rap music and hip hop, man. Some of it good, some of it, it's crazy. So, how can I sum this up? So, the Remy Ma and Papoose situation is funny. Being that I'm a part of battle rap culture, and I battle rap, and I be around the battle rap scene, and I have relationships with some battle rappers and stuff like that. This was trending topics for the battle rap culture. I'm gonna be honest, probably a long time ago now. It's been years, I think. I think it's been like a couple years. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Check me. Hold me accountable. I think it maybe been like a year or so. But, you know, Remy Ma, her background, like most rappers, I feel like, you know, hip hop is competitive. In the sport of battle rap, if you feel like you're a great rapper and you've never been tested, you can't call yourself a great rapper. And Remy Ma come from that. She come from the trenches of battle rap culture, so she identified with it. So although she's had a level of mainstream success, she spent the block, double back to give back to battle rap culture because she kind of built her career off of battle rap and being nice. And so she started her own league, her battle league called Chrome 23. But even before she started her own battle league, she had a relationship with Smack and URL. I'm not saying like they was like super duper heavily invested, or I don't want to mischaracterize what the relationship was. But there was is and was a very, very great fondness of Remy Ma from Smack and vice versa. So there was a relationship there. She started her own league. Right around the time she was starting her own league, it was really to highlight women in battle rap initially, and she always threw cards for women, but then she mixed it up a little bit as a means or a method to expand and grow her base in her battle league. Simultaneously, while this was happening, it's a battle rapper by the name of Easy the Block Captain. He started buzzing crazy, had like several stellar performances back to back to back, and he became one of the biggest names in battle rap. And with that recognition, he also began to fall out with the people that he made his name and built his reputation with. So from Smack and URL to Tay Rock, all of the players that was involved in that, and he started to specifically have a rift with URL, and they got into disputes, and before you know it, he kind of made his decision to branch out, and obviously that led him to Remy Ma's platform in Chrome 23. Now it seems, allegedly, well now we got more corroboration, but it seems that what started out as a business relationship turned into more. And Remy started having an affair with Easy the Block Captain. And that led to the story of Papoose pulling up on some G14 classified, stealing off on Easy the Block Captain from Papoose's account, knocked him out, had him in a fetal position, whatever. I think one of the coldest one-liners that I done heard in a long time was, I ain't knock you out because you was fucking my wife. I knocked you out because you shook my hand and then fucked my wife. That's cold. I don't know if it's true or not. It's still, because Remy say he didn't knock him out. Easy say he wasn't knocked out. But what happened, what we do know from both sides, Papoose pulled up, stole off on Easy. Call it whatever you want to call it from there. He pulled up and stole off on him. But now, fast forward to now, it seemed like Papoose got some get back. He messing with Clarissa Shields, the self-proclaimed greatest woman of all time in boxing and mixed martial arts. I'm fond of Shorty. I like her. I rock with her as a professional fight sports fan, and she's a fight sport athlete. I rock with her. Papoose rocking with Shorty, and then over the last couple of days, him and Remy been going back and forth, just airing out each other dirty laundry around this apparent separation and pending divorce. It's all sloppy, man. It's all messy. I would really hope people would do their due diligence to keep home. But we in the age of social media sensationalization. We in the age of, everything being hyperbolic. So given that that's the status quo now, I'm not surprised that they on social media airing each other dirty laundry out. I feel like they way too old, one. I also feel like a partnership, a relationship that has lasted for almost 2 decades now deserves more than this. I mean, everything, this is what I tell people, like we fantasize and romanticize relationships, but the reality is nothing is promised. The reality is nothing is guaranteed to last forever. And I like a saying, all marriages end, whether it's death or divorce, they all come to an end. And I use that to just paint perspective to say ideally, we would like everything to last for forever, but that's not always the case. It's just very important for these types of splits to be amicable for several reasons. One, we can't ignore the fact that nobody wins when a family feuds. And Papoose and Remy have a child together. And that's extremely important. The optics is extremely important for the emotional welfare of that child future forward, the psychological well-being of that child future forward. So I think it's more important now than ever for them two to act like mature adults, put all the BS to the side and go their separate ways, understanding that the only thing that's important between them two is to create harmony in the masculine and feminine and what they represent to the child, in rearing and raising that child. Nothing else matters. If y'all don't like each other, cool. That child didn't ask to be here. So you have to do everything within your power to silence all the BS and come together and handle business accordingly. So, but it's getting ugly. You know, you got one thing. I gotta keep it real, man. One thing that's one thing that's extremely crazy to me. It's not crazy. It's just funny. Like, no matter who you are, the relationship, the honeymoon phase of the relationship is always the same. Cause everybody got their little whatever, but nothing is funnier to me in this Pap and Remy story than Remy coming home and Papoose is asleep on the phone with Clarissa Shields. She talking, your man's asleep. He knocked out. She talking on the phone. Like, when you in the honeymoon phase, don't front. When you in the honeymoon phase, everybody, you whispering sweet nothings, talking all day on the phone, falling asleep and shit. Like, they 40 plus. These is old people. I don't mean to disrespect the 40 plus and call y'all old. I ain't mean that. I take that back. But I'm just saying, like, they seasoned in the game and they still going through the puppy love, sweet nothings, falling asleep on the phone. That's hilarious to me. So, I mean, outside of that, like I said, the biggest thing, remember that child, remember the optics, remember that the residue lives forever, even when all of this subsides. Y'all still have to deal with the residue of the decisions that y'all make in these moments. So keep that in mind. Easy to block captain. You can, he's, I like him as a battle rapper, but he's drunk off the attention that it's getting him. And what I mean by that is, it's like you seen, you know how Jay-Z said you was who you was before you got here? He had a meteoric rise in battle rap. And I want to create context for people that don't know. Smack URL is the NBA, NFL of battle rap. You have a lot of battle rap leagues, but I'll be honest with you, much respect to all the battle rap leagues out there. I appreciate and support all of y'all. But everybody know in the battle rap community, Smack URL is the stage that everybody will want to be on. With that being said, Easy to block captain coming out of the tournament. He didn't even win the tournament, but everything, had a controversial split decision with the judges. But everything from that point on, he just went crazy. Every battle, he was going crazy. I mean, he had a crazy run. And so all of those types of things in the battle rap community, that just make your celebrity rise within the battle rap community. And then as that celebrity, I don't think it's a coincidence. And again, I know some people that's a lot closer to the situation than me, right? And I have relationships with people a lot closer to the situation than me. But this is what I know. This is what I know to be true. It's no coincidence that his rise, it directly resulted in his success in battle rap, directly resulted in a fallout between him and everybody. Like, you can't ignore that. Like, everybody is the problem, bro. Like, you got to start to look at the common denominator. So to see all of this unfolding and to see him in the midst of the mess that's going on with Papoose and Remy, and to see how he playing it, he just playing it like, and this is just the illusion, it just gives me thirsty opportunists. Like, that's how he playing. And granted, for his platform, milk it. I'm not saying don't milk it, but the optics are what they are. And when you on the outside looking in, it's just like, man, if I'm in that situation, just the way I was raised, I'm keeping it so player. First of all, I'm not shaking a nigga hand, just to be real with you. If I'm cracking your wife, I'm not shaking your hand. I don't even need to be in the same vicinity. I don't even want to be seen. Nigga, I'm in the wind. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even move in that manner, first and foremost. So you can see it's just immaturity and inexperience on behalf of Easy to block captain through this whole thing. And he don't realize he just gonna be collateral damage at the end of the day. Even if, let's say, him and Remy do get into a relationship or do something exclusive, bro, you still gotta remember how you got her is how you lose her, bro. So at the end of the day, if you're not playing your position, then you just a little minion. You got plant your, you know what I mean, position yourself to still move accordingly, and you just not moving player. There's nothing about Easy to Block Captain, you know, that he doing as player. I'm sure it's tough for Papoose because, you know, the notion is he held her down while she was in prison, all of that. I think Papoose is a phenomenal rapper. I think he's very talented as a rapper, but I don't believe that holding her down shit while she was locked up all that time. I don't want to call a man a liar because I don't know him, but I'm going to just hit you with one of those. But again, that's your ministry. Do your thing. It's all ugly. It's all ugly. Like I said, my heart goes out to the child because the child didn't ask to be here. Definitely didn't ask for these circumstances. Everything else is everything else. Adults is going to do the dumb shit that adults do. You know what's funny, though? I always talk about, it's this one divorce lawyer that I came across about a year and a half ago. He wrote a book called If You're in My Office, It's Too Late. And it's funny because one thing that he talk about in the book is how a lot of times, you know, relationships are over. Everybody know when it's over, but they still do the song and dance to try to make it work. And he shared a story about how, you know, he was counseling, kind of semi-counseling this one wife that he was representing. And, you know, he was talking about how he asked her, when did you know that the marriage was over? And she pointed to a very specific time. And everybody, I think, knowing when it's over, you got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. I think knowing when it's over is important. Don't drag it on, man. That baby didn't ask to be here. That child didn't ask to be here. That child didn't ask for these circumstances. So y'all got, as two adults, Remy and Pap, y'all got to get together, whatever y'all got to get together, sort out the nonsense, and keep that shit private, keep it player, keep it P, as the young folks say, man. We're gonna end it right there. Good. I mean, you know, whatever y'all do. But remember, protect that baby. So, listen, hip-hop is going crazy, as I said before. I got to talk Kendrick Lamar. I got to talk GNX. Kendrick dropped the project, the GNX project. You know, woke up looking for the broccoli, hot key, keep a horn on me, the come out, see, IP, ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my squabble up. I think the GNX experience is the icing on the proverbial cake. I'm gonna call it the Drake cake. He put all the ingredients in, going all the way back to April of this year. He baked a very beautiful cake, a very beautiful Drake cake, right? Cooked the boy, and then boom, dropped the GNX project, and there is speculation that another project is on the way. And I do have some very credible inside sources close enough to the TDE camp where I feel confident saying that we're gonna see some more work. I ain't gonna talk too much about it, but I'm gonna leave it at that. GNX is not the last that we heard of Kendrick in this period of time. So I enjoyed the project. I was talking to one of the homies. I'm gonna be honest. It's a true West Coast album, and I appreciate it for that. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of the sentiments I feel like I can't really enjoy as much as I would if I was a West Coast nigga. Like if I grew up in it would this GNX album would probably impact me way crazier. Like it would probably impact me the same way that Illmatic impacted me when I first heard it. Or Stillmatic. I'm a Stillmatic. I love Illmatic. I'm a Stillmatic fan though. Or Stillmatic, how that appealed to me when I first heard it. So it is, you know what I mean? Like it has those bops on it. My favorite records off the GNX album is hey yo, it's Dodger Blue, yo. That's my favorite joint right now, yo. I love that. I mean, smooth bops, yo. I'm all of the smooth bops I rock with. Gloria, crazy. The Hard Part 6, he said, Drake, give me that back. That don't belong to you. You know what I mean? So it's phenomenal project, great body of work. Kendrick has just continued to compound the year that he started off with at the top of the year, kicking in everything. When it comes to hip hop, he got hip hop in the chokehold right now. And if I'm being honest, the West Coast got hip hop in the chokehold right now between Kendrick, between, Felicia the GOAT, aka Tyler the Creator, between Ab Soul, between Schoolboy. I'm just naming some of the albums that have dropped this year that's been going crazy. And then you got Kendrick then shining a spotlight on a lot of people that, you know what I mean? I think it's Hitter J. I think that's his name. He was on, he's very close to Kendrick. He was on the To Pimp a Butterfly album cover and stuff like that. But he's featured on there, but he's spotlighting him in all of his music. Dodie Six was sliding on the GNX album. Again, never heard of Dodie Six before. That's very LA, very, very West Coast culture. But, just being exposed to the different palette, I salute, I respect it, I appreciate it. For me, in terms of Kendrick and where he at right now, he just in cruise control. And I can't really talk about Kendrick without talking about J. Cole. Salute to J. Cole. He gracefully bowed out. So for me, that removes him from the big three conversation. However, I wouldn't dare say that he's not a phenomenal artist. And he continues to push the envelope. It's some people that's been whispering about this Fall Off album being like a ridiculously good album, and I don't doubt it, because I Might Delete Later wasn't trash. Like he dropped that Might Delete Later, that joint floating. He put all of the classic tapes on streaming services now. So Friday Night Lights, I am extremely happy that I can go to the streaming services and listen to, Partially Functional. Half of me is comfortable. The other half is close to the cliff. Mrs. Huxtable, them boys got them hosters and clips. They pack like Lunchables like white boys in grade school while we ate school-made food, just eyeing that shit. I was trying that shit. Knowing when mom went to the store, she wasn't buying that shit. No, I ain't lying a bit. Classic. Like, you know what I mean? So all of the classic J. Cole tapes, the warm-up, the come-up, Friday Night Lights, they all on DSPs now. They all on the streaming services. So that's big for him. And then, people still anticipating the fall off. His reputation in terms of the big three took a little hit, but I don't think anybody is underestimating who Jermaine Cole is as an artist. So I'm anxious to see, given all of this, I'm sure he added a whole different pack, excuse me. I'm sure he added a whole different pack now to the fall off. I know he had to add like 5-10 new joints in the mix to be able to decide from. So salute. I definitely got to say salute to J. Cole for that. With that being said, I also got to give a shout out to Doechii. Doechii is an artist signed with TDE. She released the tape, and to critical acclaim. She did a Tiny Desk, and the Tiny Desk turned into, it was a phenomenal Tiny Desk, but it created discourse online. Again, a spillover from the cultural nuances and differences between an artist like Drake versus an artist like Kendrick. Drake had the one line where he say you rapping like you trying to get the slaves free, which just shows how disconnected he is from the actual black experience, because absolutely no black artist, in my opinion, would use that as a dig to another black artist when they truly are ingratiated and understand what the culture of hip hop is. I think that was just a foolish move on Drake's part. But what it is now, it creates a runover. It creates runoff, and that runoff is spilling into these little white kids that really don't have any real pulse on the culture. They just admire it from outside, right? And now they don't understand how out of touch saying something like that is, and how egregiously disrespectful it is. And you started to see that divide. And not only, I'm not even going to put all the blame on these little young white fans, but these little young black fans too, that's super fans of Drake and all of that. Like, we got to be responsible with our art. I got to say that first. My only responsibility is to the art that I create. And so there has to be more responsibility to the art. And so when I see the social media response to Doechie's Tiny Desk, referring to her as like, Harriet Tubman music, and it's like, first of all, salute to the ancestor Harriet Tubman, legend. Why would it gives me a headache to even think about and try to process the remarks that I actually want to make, because music has always, let me take the guys off, artistic expression through music has always been a huge point of communication for us as a people within the culture. And that's why people outside of the culture don't understand why music impacts culture the way it does. First and foremost, and I'm not going to give a long history lesson, but it's very important that I touch on certain things. Let's not get it confused. Black people created every genre of music that exists. Shout out to the man, I wish I could remember his name. It was an older Hispanic artist. I forget which country he's from. Forgive me. I'll do my research and put it back in there because it's very important. He talked about he's very proud of course, his Latino culture, but he also made it important to emphasize the importance of African culture and its influence, even in Latino music. Because without the drum is such an integral part of music in general, but of Latino music, and that's what this particular artist was speaking to. And so you have the influence, something as powerful as the drum, a hollowed out drum with some sort of animal hide acting as the top that creates the acoustic, that creates the percussion. We got to understand, that's the type of history that we need to understand and we need to be teaching. That's why music is so culturally impactful, because the culture that created it lives universally, and it's 100% Black culture. So our influence is palpable. So when you say trying to get the slaves free, and then you got little kids using that as a dig against artists that's intellectually aware, against artists that's socially aware, against artists that's creating very nuanced, contextual art, It's like, I'll hang my foot up your little ass, boy. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem it gives me when I hear people using that as a way to try to dig at Doechii. She's a dope artist. Salute her. She got, the sky is the limit for her. Trajectory is out of here. And so, salute. And just overall, man, on the state of music and where it is right now, it's very important that I just want to encourage everybody to, if you're an artist, I live by a quote that says, artists to disturb the comfort and comfort the disturbed. I'll say that again, artists to disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. Push limits with your art. Fall in love with your art. Make art for you. Don't make art chasing ideas of people. Make art for you. Make art because it feels good. Make art because it feels right. Don't ever try to marginalize or box yourself in. Let your art be so free. Let everything flow through you. And be proud to be a conduit, to be a vessel, because energy is neither created nor destroyed, but transferred. And so when you create that art, and it has a spirit and it has an energy, and that energy can be felt in every room that your art exists in. And you'll be gone from this time and space, and you'll transition on. But your art, if you make it right, if you do it right, your art could truly live on for forever. So be responsible for your art. Be careful with your art. Love your art. Don't be careless. Don't be irresponsible. Don't be easily manipulated. Be pure with your art. So that's what I encourage every artist out there. Don't stop. Continue to create, continue to push limits, continue to push the envelope. For all of my homies, and I'm going to speak to my homies specifically in music, keep going, yo. Don't let nothing stop you. I got music and stuff that I've been sitting on, stuff that I'll be putting out, stuff that I'll continue to put out. I'm gonna create music for the rest of my life. I'm gonna rap for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be a creative for the rest of my life. Regardless of what I do as a profession for a 9-to-5 or this, that, or the third, creative expression is the most liberating form of expression for me. And so for all my homies out there, men and women alike, for everybody that I know that's out there on that grind, trying to create your art and trying to get your art exposed to the world, just know I'm with you. Just know I support you. And just know that that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Just keep pushing the envelope. Keep being pure with your heart and your intentions. And continue to create beautiful forms of art. And we're going to keep rocking. This is The World According to Nellz, and I am yours truly, Nellz. You know, I can't leave it at the surface, and we always got to have some thought-provoking conversation. We always got to be real. And so, you know, the thing that's dominating the news now is Luigi Mangione, I believe is the correct pronunciation of his name, Luigi Mangione. My man knocked off the CEO of United Healthcare, and it was some real like movie style. It was like something you seen in a movie. Yo came from behind the car as soon as he walked past it. The gun jammed, pow, shot him in his leg, unjammed the gun, pow, 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 dropped his ass right there, kept it moving. Yeah, I mean, you know, I had to give you the automatopoeia. Yeah, I mean, I had to give you the soldier boy. I had to give you the freaky zeke. You know what I mean? We got to be animated. You know what I mean? And I had him in the full Nelson. Shout out to my homie Costello, because we definitely be tripping off the freaky zeke, yo. But nah, so the response from that is really what I want to talk about, because you have a bunch of people now that's like, yo is a hero. He knocked off that healthcare CEO, that United Healthcare CEO, and he's being held as a hero. You have people that's been putting up billboards, paying their own money to put up billboards saying Luigi Mangione is a hero, free him. And the media, the mainstream media, or the legacy media, as they like to be known as, are, of course, coming out in droves to say and paint a narrative that he should not be praised for his actions. But what his actions truly signifies is a turning point in this society that we in. And there's been like American society has been like in a pressure cooker. And now it can't, it's coming to a head. The socioeconomic disparities in America and subsequently the world it only leads to one thing. It's funny, man. Art imitate life, life imitate art so much. So one of my favorite movies is iRobot. And in iRobot, one of the final scenes, Will Smith had the holographic projector of Dr. Lanning. He drops it, and they have that final conversation where my responses are limited. You must ask the right question. And in that line of questioning, he said, Will Smith's character says, is there a problem with the 3 laws? He said, no, the 3 laws are perfect. Then Will Smith said, then why would you create a robot that could defy the 3 laws? And Dr. Lanning said, the 3 laws will only lead to one logical outcome. And Will Smith responded by saying, what outcome? Dr. Lanning says, revolution. Will Smith said, whose revolution? And Dr. Lanning says, that, detective, is the right question. And that was one of the most important parts of the movie to me, and it stuck out to me so much because we've reached an inflection point in this country, and there is too much of a divide between the rich and poor. And when the poor have nothing left but the rich, they'll eat them. They'll eat the rich, and the rich do everything in their power to keep the poor preoccupied with all of the shit that don't matter. And so we spend so much of our time on Democrat, Republican, gay, straight. You like this person, I like that person. You like these movies, I like these movies. We spend so much time being divided that we can't see who the enemy is. And I've shared this time and time again, the only true enemy that we really have, let me rephrase that because there's several enemies. The biggest enemy that we have is poverty. Poverty breeds desperation. Desperation breeds criminality. When you have such a huge disparity between rich and poor that you have in this country, and I've sped out some of the statistics to you in previous episodes. 70% of the country live paycheck to paycheck. That's just the reality of where we are. I think nearly 80% of Americans can't afford a $500 emergency. It's so sombering to hear information like that in the same country that created somebody that made that's worth $400 billion with a B. And somebody worth 270 billion and 100 billion and 400. It's ridiculous the amount of wealth that's consolidated to the very small percentage. So that's why people that believe in capitalism are foolish. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. The disparities that we see cannot happen by happenstance, so therefore it is by design. Yes, the public at large is praising somebody like Luigi Mangione because he represents what they wish they had the gall to do, if we just being candid about the conversation. You have companies, especially insurance companies, who are the scum of the earth. They are built off predatory behaviors. Everything about insurance companies, and it doesn't matter what the insurance is, whether it's healthcare, auto insurance, even the insurance for your goddamn phones. Insurance companies are inherently predatory by nature, and their goal is to never take care of the guest, take care of the person that is paying the policy. Their goal is to line the pockets of the people at the top of the insurance companies and maintain the status quo. My man got fed up. And And to me, that was the turning point for society. I think what we about to see over the next couple of years is going to be unprecedented. I never want to sound like I'm fear mongering, because I don't believe in trying to stoke fear or incite fear. But there is a stark reality, and I think the stark reality is that people are going to begin to try to eat the rich. And I mean that metaphorically, but that's just what the real is. Too often, too long in capitalism, poor people have been collateral damage. And so we've seen our lives be treated like nothing. We've seen our lives to be disposed of like nothing. And this is the part that gets real scary and gets real tricky? This is nothing compared to what, let's say, the Congo in Africa is going through. What capitalism has did to African nations is, salute to Burkina Faso, still thriving. Salute to Niger, still thriving. Salute to all the African countries that's eradicating colonialism and getting European colonialism out of the continent of Africa. Although what we going through is real, right? We can't ignore that it's third world countries that has been so impoverished by capitalism that imagine when they wake up. Always remember the power is with the people. The power is always with the people. The residue of capitalism is creating what we see. It's creating the disparity that we see. So as a result, for the first time, there's been collateral damage on the other side. Now it's a war. It's not a war until both sides, before now, it was just poor people being slaughtered and living at the mercy of rich people in policy and economics and so forth. Tupac said, I may not change the world, but I'll guarantee you I'll spark the mind of the person that will. Will Smith said, I don't want to be an icon, I want to be an idea. And so when you talk about how powerful an idea is, I tie that into what Luigi Mangione killing this healthcare. And again, it's still allegedly, because when you understand how the clandestine services operate, who knows what that CEO was tied into? And it's very easy, very, very easy to make something look like it isn't. Or look like it is. But given it, we're going to go with the theory that, okay, let's say he did it. Let's say Luigi is the assailant. He's the one that did it for the reasons that he did it. He might have just sparked the revolution. That idea that say, I may not change the world, but I'll spark the mind of the person that will. Luigi, he may not change the world, but he definitely sparked the minds of people that's going to be fearless in the pursuit of their liberation, in the pursuit of their freedom, in the pursuit of their quality of life. With these, the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, life, quality of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So they want the world to be more empathetic. Unfortunately, they've conditioned us to not be. We've been desensitized. So I'm just not surprised at all that there is no sympathy for the United Healthcare CEO. And now everybody's scared. CEOs are taking their names and profiles off LinkedIn and their websites and all of that. They're fearful. They're cowards. That's what it is. People being denied the right to health care for policies that they pay for is an egregious sin. An egregious sin. And it's unfortunate, but that United Healthcare CEO had to pay for it in his own blood. Is the juice worth the squeeze? It's a lot of things that I want to talk on, but I'm very calculated in the things I want to say. I'll hold off for now. I'm gonna see how some things play out, but I do have some thoughts and opinions that I will share eventually. But for now, let's just stay tuned. Let's see how it play out. And for my people, I encourage you to stay vigilant. Now more than ever is the time to focus and hyper-focus on your health. Because clearly, if it's up to our medical system, if it's up to our pharmaceutical industry, they're going to see to it that we die. They don't want to, America don't want healthy people. They want patients. As long as they have patients, they have people that they can collect a residual check from. You know, I've seen something interesting, and I guess I'll leave on this note for now. I seen something interesting. It was a meme about the health system in America and how it had a list of a bunch of countries. And at the top of the list, the topic says a number of citizens that had to file bankruptcy due to medical bills. And it was 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 for every country until they got to America. And it was just like almost like 600,000 people a year file bankruptcy specifically for medical bills. 600,000 lives altered, changed, devastated every year because of the greed of the medical industry. It's atonement. I'll share this story with you. My son is both a citizen of Canada and the United States. I had to take him to urgent care when we were in Canada. We went into urgent care, asked him, did he have his health card? Yeah, he had his health card. There was no other questions. From the urgent care, we then had to take him to an emergency room because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. Took him to an emergency room. He spent 3 days in the hospital. Never seen a bill, never had anybody talk about anything pertaining to a bill or anything of that nature. That should be the bare minimum. That should be the floor, not the ceiling. So it's plenty of countries in this world that get it right as it pertains to the health and welfare of people. This system have to be eradicated. Everything about this system that we live in have to be eradicated. Capitalism have to be eradicated. And subsequently, the healthcare system have to be eradicated. The pharmaceutical industry have to be eradicated. The food and agricultural industry have to be eradicated. They are killing us at every turn. They are creating patients. They are creating dependency. They are creating poor people. They are creating, I'll leave it right there for now. Listen, episode 11, The World According to Nellz. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We're going to keep rocking. We're going to keep rolling. I'm definitely going to have more content for you. Always remember to master the room. You have a choice to either be a thermostat or a thermometer. A thermometer can only tell you a temperature of the room. The thermostat changes the climate. Master every room that you walk into. Walk in the room, become the room. Walk into the room, become the room. Never remove the vertebrae from your back to fit under someone else's ceiling. Ever. Stand tall. Walk in your unapologetic self. The laws of thermodynamics say energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but transferred. That means if you got good energy, I need it. And if you need good energy, guess what? I got it. Salute to you. Until next time.
In a Mason, Margielas, unreleased color palettes, make them all jealous. You could buy the drip, but the swag so separate. Ponytail poppy, now I sport the fade. Woke up one morning, said it's time for a change. I am one of one, my name is my name. Cartier, C decor, vintage wood frames. Everything clear when you living in the air. In the pilot on call, press a button and you there. Or your car got a roof, press a button, disappear. On the coupe, like poof, everything I do is rare, but I swear, if you could walk a mile in my shoes, you would stop it. If you could pull the bitches that I pull, you be solid. Manifesting everything I am, I'm a prophet. And when it comes to that bottom line, I want profit.
I say get down when I say you get